Afifa, read the chapter title.
例のお城の本。Um, did she say like Middle Earth or something?
Yeah, it's probably the Middle Age period, but it does say, like, literally is Middle Earth, but I think they're referring to the time period, the Middle Ages.
Middle Ages castles book. Uh,
Yes. And then next two lines, we'll go to Grayson.
誰もいないわよ。真っ暗な木の上から兄の声がした。Okay, wait. So this was okay. Dare was who, and then Daremo was like anyone, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nai, is that from Iku?
No, iku ends with a
Yeah.
ku, so that becomes
Yeah.
ikanai.
Ikana. Okay. So
Right.
Inai is which one?
So, yeah, what you do is you delete the nai,
Yeah.
right? And then you add ru, or you add u, depending on what it
Oh,
is.
okay. So Iru.
Hi.
So nobody is here.
Yes.
Okay. Um, okay. Makura.
Kura means
Yeah.
dark, and ma means like 100%.
Ah, okay. So it's really dark um because of the treetops.
I don't think the word because is in there, but it does say really dark treetops. Specifically, it's saying above the really dark trees.
But for whatever reason, I thought the kara was because, or
You're
did I mix
correct
them?
that kara means because.
Oh, okay.
So what we have going on here is a relative clause, an adjective sentence. Well, actually, we literally just have an adjective on an adjective, but they're basically the same thing in Japanese. So this thing right over here, right, has nothing to do with the kara, the ani, the koi, or shita. These are all words used to describe a noun. Makura is describing the ki, and the ki is describing the ue. They have nothing to do with the rest of the sentence, right? Like if you said the blue ball rolled down the hill, the blue's not really doing anything in the sentence. It's only describing the ball, right? It's not the blue hill, it's not the blue rolling, it's the blue ball. So the because-ness of the kata doesn't really have anything to do with that. And with kata meaning because, that's only if kata occurs after a clause, specifically a sentence, right? Ue, do you know what grammar that is? Ue, like, is that a noun, a verb, an adjective?
Yeah, it's above like
N-
position. Is that like an adverb or adjective, something like
That's a
that?
really good guess. This is actually a noun.
Oh, it is a noun. Okay.
It is a noun. So nouns in Japanese are marked by particles and stuff. So for example, chusei is a noun, shiro is a noun, hon is a noun. Even though oshiro is describing a noun as acting as an adjective, that is the no going on here that is turning it into an adjective, not it in itself being an adjective. So ue is a noun. So if you have a noun and then a kara, that no longer means because, and instead it means from. So it says, from above the darkness of the trees, something happens. What happens? Ani ga koi ga shita.
Mhm.
Sorry, ani no koi
Um,
ga shita.
wait. Uh, Annie's voice, um, Shita
You're right. Do you know
died?
what? No, that's the verb shine.
Shinu.
Shinu turns into shinda.
Okay.
Shinda. Shita is irregular, but if you were following the pattern of conjugation, this should be shiru, but instead of she, it is actually su.
Sudo. Okay.
Do you know what tsuru means?
It's like to do,
It is to
kind of, but
do.
it's
So Annie did a voice, as in
any
she made a
divorce.
sound. She said something. The next paragraph goes to Afifa.
ジャックはよほど家に帰ってしまおうかと思ったが、たくさんの本が気になって仕方がない。
So Jack は思った。
Jack thought that the house or
The house is marked by ni, so that's not the subject. So Jack thought he would kaite shimao.
go
Shimao. Yeah, to come home. Yeah, that's what he was thinking, but
he became really interested in a bunch of books.
perfect. Nice. And now I'm going to ask you some specific questions. Your translation is great. Do you know why there is a ka here? Jack はよほど家に帰ってしまおうかと思った。Why is there a ka in the sentence?
I don't know.
So we have the to particle. Do you know what that marks?
Like and
Could you say that a little bit louder?
and
And it can mark and. You were correct. That is not the to we see here. There's a total of like 3 toes in Japanese. There's and to. There's immediately after to, which has a 100% probability. And then there's quotation to. This is quotation to. This is quoting the thing that Jack thought. So the ka is in here because the thought he had a question in it. He was thinking, why don't I go home right now? Or should I go home right now? Right? He's thinking to himself, let's go home, but he hasn't like committed to this thought yet. If the ka wasn't in here, it would feel like he literally went, okay, I'm going home now. Bye. But it's not. He was thinking, maybe I should go home. He's adding a question to his thought process. But even though he was thinking, I should probably go home, he got really interested in what kind of books were there, so he had no choice but to go inside and not go home. Next paragraph goes to Grayson.
縄ばしごを4時のぼっていくうちに遠くの空がつ、あ、らっと明るくなっているのに気がついた。夜が明け始めたのだ。
Hi. So first off, we have yoji nobotte. What do you think yoji nobotte's dictionary form is?
Oh, like the okay. What's it? I think there was like the ones that get the te was like I think you
You're right.
and also like the ru, but when it's a you verb.
Yeah, nobotte. Yep, so that
Yeah.
becomes ru. Yoji noboru. Perfect.
What does it mean?
Noboru is to climb something,
Oh,
and
right.
this is
Yeah,
letting
yeah,
us
yeah.
know the way he's climbing, which is more like clambering. And then we have iku, which is to go. So we're saying somebody
Yeah.
went up the ladder away from the main character. You know what the uchi ni is telling us here?
Is that home?
It can mean home, you are correct. Uchi can mean home. It can also mean one family, but it has a second meaning that's separate from the home family meaning, which is a time phrase. So when you're talking about one's family, right, it's basically like an idea of an in-group that's different from your out-group. So when you're using uchi as a time phrase, you're basically having a time set as an in-group, saying at some point during this time, and saying not occurring outside of the time. So yoji nobotte iku uchi ni basically means while he is climbing, kind of referring to during this time period. So we have the time in which he'd be climbing up this. So we're ignoring the time he didn't climb it and when he finishes climbing it. We're just describing what happened as he climbed. So as he climbed away up on the ladder, he kiga tsuita.
Something about his heart or spirit.
You're right, something about his spirit, yes. Do you know what the verb tsuku means?
Was that to arrive?
It can mean to arrive, you're right. It is a different kanji than the tsuku here. So they are virtually identical and would both be tsuite. This tsuku is the to attach.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Tsuku. So when you're attaching your spirit to something, it means that you notice something. You kind of realize something. So Jack, because that's our main character, as he climbs the ladder, realizes something, which is that toku no sora ga usura to araku natte iru. What does Jack realize? What does he notice?
There's, I think, far away and sky.
Mm.
And bright.
A lot of words. Do you know what naru means?
Was that like to be, was it to believe or to be born or something like that?
Neither of those. It's to become.
To become, that's what yeah, okay.
Hey. So something becomes. What becomes? Whatever the thing that becomes is going to be marked by ga, the subject particle. So what's becoming?
The faraway sky.
The faraway sky is becoming
Bright.
akaruku. Yes. And then we have usura with a toe after it. What toe do you think this toe is?
Was it the if when?
That's a good guess. That's a very logical guess. If when, but it is actually the quotation toe. Quotation toe is actually an adverb grammatically because you're describing the way in which you thought, or in this case, the way in which something became bright. So the thing became bright in a usura kind of way, and we're using a toe particle because usura is a sound effect. And it basically means like faint or whatever, like it's slightly becoming brighter. So while he was climbing up the ladder, right, it didn't become suddenly fully sunny outside. Suddenly it's the afternoon or something. It's just you can tell the sky's getting a little bit brighter. And then the next part, yo ga ake hajimemashita. Hajimeta.
Okay, you'll that was like the evening, I think. You'll and we have the brightness again, and then Hajime Mashita is like began to get bright, I guess.
Yes.
The evening started getting bright.
Yep. And yo ake together without a ga means dawn. So this gives off the idea of like dawn is breaking. Because
Okay.
they woke up before the sun was even out. But now we can see dawn has fully actually begun. That's what he realized as he climbs up the ladder. So, as another brain teaser, what is the dictionary form of natte?
Naru.
Yep. And what is the dictionary form of yoji noboru? I just told you that. Never mind. Ah.
Yeah, yeah. It's not Boru, but yeah. Yeah,
Next two
I knew the word Boru. I was confused by the Yojino and I thought it was a different verb.
Mm. Next two lines go to Afifa.
私、ツリーハウスの中はまだ真っ暗だった。兄が懐中電灯で床に積まれた本を照らしている。However, the inside of the treehouse was still completely dark. Any
She
床に
teraste.
照らして、to illuminate
You're right. What does she illuminate?
the book.
Which book does she illuminate?
I don't know that one.
Tsumaru is to be packed or to be filled. So these books are covering something. What do you think they're covering?
The yuka.
The yuka. So there's a whole lot of books on the floor of the black treehouse, and Annie's flashlight is illuminating them. How is she illuminating the books?
The flashlight.
With the flashlight, which I told you, but hey, that's why the dead particle's in the sentence. And then we have a comma here so that the sentence is easier to read. Because theoretically, it could be she illuminates toward the floor. Well, that's not really what it's saying, right? It's saying that the books are covering the floor. So the comma is making it more obvious. The dento de is not a part of the relative clause, but the yuka ni is part of the relative clause. Kind of like it doesn't have to be, but it just makes it like an assumption you kind of make. The next lines go to Grayson.
橋梁の図鑑があった二人を橋梁の時代へ連れて行ってくれた本だ。Okay, we have our dinosaur picture dictionary. Okay. Atta.
How do we turn
I
this
can't.
into dictionary form?
Yeah, okay. I think this is Aru.
Yep, aru.
And so there was
Mm-hmm. There
Futari.
was,
There was the dinosaur picture dictionary.
yes,
Yeah. Okay, Futari is two.
you're right.
Two dinosaurs. Wait, two dinosaur eras. Okay, hang on. Yeah.
So relative clauses in English are put in a different order than they are in
Yeah.
Japanese, right? So for example, the boy who cried wolf is Sam. The sentence is, the boy is Sam.
Yeah.
Who cried wolf is the relative clause. So with these kind of things, you can't really say, wolf cried who boy is Sam, right? That's not really how English works. You have to locate the head of the clause, which where do you think the head of clause would be in the 二人を恐竜の時代へ連れて行く、連れて行ってくれた本? Where is the head of that clause? Do you know?
Well, there's no ga or
You're
wa,
right,
so I'm a
but that doesn't
little
really. So
confused. I
that
think
has the
probably
pause. A relative clause has nothing to do with the particles.
okay.
There's nothing to do with the particles. That has to do with more translating the English in general, but it has nothing to do with the particles, right? For example, over here in the previous sentence that was read, we had yuka ni tsumareta hon ga terashiteiru. Hon is the head of the relative clause yuka ni tsukareta, right? It
Mhm.
didn't have any, the gauze here is Annie. Nothing to do with
Right.
that, right? It's the book that is the head of the clause, which in this sentence is marked by O. It
Yeah.
doesn't care where every noun in Japanese can get a relative clause to describe it. For
Mhm.
example, um, English is a little bit more complex. Like the boy is Sam who cried wolf sounds weird. But you can do that in Japanese. The relative clause can go anywhere in the sentence and will go anywhere in the sentence. As long as you have a noun, it can be marked by a relative clause. So the relative clause here is this noun at the end of the clause. Hon.
Oh, it's the hon. Okay.
You're right. Book. And you're right, there is no ga in the sentence. Do you know
Hmm.
what English's filler subject is? It's the
Filler
subject
subject.
yeah, it's a subject we use when there is no subject of the sentence. Such as if we want to say it's raining, how do we say that?
There's it.
Yes, we use it. It is our filler subject. It doesn't have any particular meaning at all. We just throw it in the subject in the sentence because English is a subject add language and Japanese is a subject drop language. So whenever we use it in English, most of the time that's not going to even exist in the Japanese sentence. And you just add it.
Hmm.
You can also use like they sometimes if you feel like we're talking about a person, as English does tend to use it for inanimate ideas. So these tend to be our fillers. So it is what? Honda.
Book.
Yep, it is a book. So now we have information
Oh,
about this book. Which book
okay.
are we talking about? It's a book.
Um, well, we have there's two of something, and then there's I think the era of the dinosaurs, and um,
I recommend looking for the verb of the sentence, the clause. Do you know
yeah,
what it is?
yeah. So I think that's the ite
This is a verb.
ite.
Kurita is also a verb. And so is tsurete. We actually have three verbs
Tsurete.
going on here. All
Okay.
of them give us nice information. The most important one in this set is the top verb, tsurete. Tsurete means to bring along
Is the
normally.
is the first verb always the most important?
The so do you see how the other two verbs don't have any kanji?
Yeah.
That is a sign that the other two verbs are actually helping verbs.
Hmm.
Like the word is in the sentence, she is running. This is called a helping
Right.
verb in English. It is
Yeah.
there to give us like grammatical information and not actual information of what somebody is doing. But you can have multiple verbs going on that are both equally important. That is possible. But that's the same thing as terashiteiru. This is actually two verbs. We've got our helping verb and our main verb. And the same thing with over here with shimao, kaite shima. We have our helping verb and our main verb. But you can have two main verbs right next to each other, in which case they'd have equal importance. And if you're
Hmm.
talking about compound verbs, which we don't have any in this book on this page anyway. Which yes, the first one is normally more important, and the second verb is there as like a pre something. I forgot the grammatical term, but it's like the into when you say she ran into a tree, whatever that is, like the article tends to have that kind of grammatical use. So yes, the first verb is normally the most important verb, but not necessarily. But if there's no kanji on the other verbs, most likely the other verbs in the sentence are actually just helping verbs to give us grammatical information. So one of the grammatical informations is kureta. Have you heard kureru before? A lot of times it's taught with ageru.
Oh, okay, wait. Ageru was like to raise, I think.
Ageru can mean to raise. It's a different ageru. Do you know what morao is?
No.
You might not have gone to this level in your class yet then. This is our to give slash receive grammar. So literally, ageru and kureru both literally mean to give. And morao literally means to receive. However, grammatically, they have a semantic meaning going on in Japanese. Well, ageru normally means I give someone something, or you're talking about two unrelated parties where giving is going on. While morao means either I receive something and I am upset. I do not like what I got, is what it means. Or it means someone else received something. Or it means I made this happen and they didn't actually like give this to me, but I made it that I received it. Like if you held someone at gun and you said, "Give me your wallet," and they gave you their wallet, you received a wallet. That'd be morao, because you held them at gunpoint. So give me your wallet. So you'll hear that in anime a lot. Someone will say "moroka," saying "allow me to receive your wallet." So that's the meaning of morao. So if you're happy to receive something, you don't use the word receive, you use the word to give with kureru. Kureru only ever has one meaning, which means someone gave me something and I was happy about it. And the thing they can give you is literally anything. It could be an action, or which is what's happening here. So somebody gave the main characters tsureteita, which logically is the head of the clause hon. So the book gave the children something, is what it's saying here. And the children were really happy that the books gave this to them. The books gave them tsurete, which, do you know what tsurete means?
No.
It's to bring along. So the book
Oh, right, we
brought
just
the
had that one, yeah.
children, the book brought the children along, and this is something the children enjoyed. They thought this was a grand experience. Now, when the book brought them along, they brought them along ikuing. This is a grammar that does not really exist in English. Iku is also a real verb. Do you know what iku as a real verb means?
To go.
To go. Correct. However, this is also a helping verb in Japanese. Basically, there is helping verb is either going to be iru, iku, or kuru. It's going to be one of these three guys. Is their generic is, like she is running. And which one is used has to do with this idea of like if you're filming something and you have a camera following around the main characters of your story. With iru meaning the camera doesn't matter. Where this is happening, like the positioning of stuff, doesn't matter. It's kind of just happening throughout the screen kind of idea. And that's the one you're first taught in class because it's the most easiest. Who cares? They're just things are happening. So you're going to see that iru all the time. Iku, on the other hand, which we saw earlier with nobotte iku, instead is telling us that that somebody is doing the action away from the POV of the story, of whatever is going on here. So when Jack climbed up the tree, we have an idea that there is a camera set, right, on the bottom of the tree. Right, we have a camera right here, and Jack, he climbed up out far away from the previous location. He changed location, is what the iku is telling us. So if it said nobotte iru, that would be a little bit weird, because logically, if he's climbing up this treehouse tree, he's probably moving to a new location, and thus we should describe that. Where he's getting far away from the base location that we were at. And kuru is the opposite, which this page doesn't have it, but I think we saw it on a previous page. It gives the idea that instead something is entering the scene. So So from Annie's POV, if she was looking at Jack, right? We're at the top of the treehouse, and Annie's right over here, and Jack is climbing up the tree. We would probably say Yoji nobo ra. Actually, if we're from POV, and this is Jack's was the subject sense. It'd be Jack wa nabagashi o yoji nobotte kuru is what it would turn into if Annie was the main character of the story. Because that would mean that Jack was climbing up the ladder, but he was getting closer to Annie from the scene we were at before, because Annie was our main character of the scene. But this book, the main character is Jack. Specifically, it's like a third-person POV thing that's like right behind Jack that follows Jack around is the POV. But basically, the iku and the kuru is the same as iru, the is, but we're giving us location information as a grammatical concept that does not actually really exist in English. It exists a little bit with kuru, as we do tend to use come and stuff, like she came over to my house. But it's a little bit different grammatically than it really is in Japanese, as it's just a different form of is, kind of like how we have am, right? You don't say she, so she is a dog, I am a dog, right? Am and is are the same verb, but they're grammatically different depending on what the subject is. That's what the is in Japanese is grammatically different depending on what direction the verb is occurring in. So for this sentence, we just said they are happy, they're going away from a certain location to do tsurete, to come along with. So literally the only thing that really matters is that the book brought them along. But then the other information is grammatical important stuff, which is, what was one of the grammatical important things we learned? Kurita.
The helping verb?
Yes, that is a helping verb. What does it convey grammatically to the sentence?
That was the kureru.
Mm-hmm.
That someone gave me something, I'm happy about it.
Exactly. So that's the happy grammatical, and then the going away radical. Grammatical.
Right.
So that's all it's telling us.
I think I know what's going on in the sentence now. I think the book took the two of them, so
Yes.
Jack and Annie, away to the land or the era of the dinosaurs.
Yes, that's exactly what it says. Perfect. Yeah, complex grammar going on. Okay. One line will go to Afifa.
編集で週のガイドブックもある。There's also a guidebook.
What kind of guidebook?
Pennsylvania?
Yes, the state of Pennsylvania. Perfect. And that was so easy. You'll get the next line as well, Afifa.
しおりが挟まっているページには、フロッグクリックの写真が載っている。What's Shiori?
Shiori is a bookmark. But that's not really the location to start this sentence. Do you know where we would start it with?
There's like a Frog Creek photo stuff.
Yes, that is where we start. The Frog Creek photo is notteiru, and this means to be depicted in. Right? We're using iru because we're not really saying it's doing the depicted in any kind of direction. It's just is depicted in. The direction information is not relevant. So where is this picture? Where is this picture? Where is it?
With the bookmark is put between the pages.
Yes, it is in between the pages of where a bookmark is stuck in. Perfect. That's exactly what it's saying. And do you know why there is a wa here? It just means the most important information is that it's at this location. We're just adding extra stress here. So you do not need the wa here. If you didn't have the wa, the sentence is a little bit more boring, but the meaning does not change. We're just saying, within the page, between the pages of the book where the bookmark is, that is where the guidebook picture is. Versus the guidebook picture, oh yeah, it was in between the pictures. It's just switching where our stress is. The location is more important than the picture itself. Next line goes to Grayson.
この本のおかげで、二人はこの森に帰って来られたのだ。Okay, we have this book. Mm,
Okagete is thanks to.
is what?
Thanks to.
Oh, thanks to this book. The two of us. Okay, let's see. We have this wood or this forest.
Forest. Ni kaite.
Return korare.
Ta. So, do you think this is a helping verb or a real verb?
I think it's a helping verb.
You're right, it is a helping verb. We actually conjugated one of our helping verbs. It's either iru, iku, or kuru. Which one do you think it is?
Kuru.
You're right, because kuru is obnoxiously irregular. Kuru becomes ko when we add a a to it, like konai, to not come, for example. So here it's ko, right? And then it's areru. So kuru becomes kowareru. You know what form areru is?
It's one of the modals, I think. Is it like can?
That's theoretically it can be can.
Okay.
Specifically for do verbs, it's can. So taberareru can mean can eat, but it's not can for u verbs. That's something else. This is probably passive form. But actually, looking at the sentence, can would make the most sense. So kuru, which is irregular, might just be korareru for passive form. That is definitely possible. I haven't really seen it a lot. That's the problem with the irregular guys. They make things confusing. And yep, potential can be rareru. So you were correct in this context as well. It is can. So
Okay,
what can they do because of this book?
Wait, just one more time. The areru is can for the ru verbs?
Yes.
Okay. And passive form for the u verbs.
It's passive forms for everything.
Yeah, okay.
And kuru is irregular, so whether or not it's a do verb or an u verb, it's whatever it wants to be in any specific moment. Same with suru, right? So it's whatever it wants to be in any specific moment.
Okay. Thanks to this book, the two of us can return to this forest.
Perfect. And あったわ。これを探してたの. It says, aha, here it is. I was looking for this. And then the next paragraph goes to Afifa.
兄が中世のお城の絵のついた古い本を見つけた、出した。青い川のしおりが挟んである。昨日も見ていた本だ。
はい。見つけ出した。
Found?
Yep. 見つける is to find. Then we added, so this is a 3 compound verb. 見 plus つける plus 出す. You know what 出す means?
Is it like to take out?
To take out. So she basically found this book and took it out. So perhaps maybe the book was like in the bookshelf and she plopped it out type of idea when she found it. So which book does she take out?
Well, it
Mhm.
It's an old book.
An old book. And what other information do we have? We have another relative clause.
Middle Ages castles, painting or drawing.
Do you know what tsuita means?
Is attached.
It is to attach. So contextually, this is probably on the cover of the book, right? This is an old book with a picture of a castle from the Middle Ages attached to it. So the contextual assumption would definitely be odds on the cover. But it doesn't literally say that. They could have had a picture just taped to it, and that would still work fine. The noteiru that we saw before is more like inside of a book, type of like it printed in there. So that's why it's not noteiru here, because the cover of the book isn't really printed inside of the book, type of idea. So next sentence, 青い川のしおりが挟んである.
The blue leather bookmark
Mm-hmm.
was put inside. I don't know.
You're right, it was put inside. And we have de aru, which is the same thing as passive form, but it's used when we don't care who did it. So we don't care who put the bookmark in there, only the fact that the bookmark was put inside of this book.
It's also the book we saw yesterday.
Perfect, that's exactly what it is. And then the next line will go to Grayson.
兄はしおりが、は or は
Ha.
挟まっている。Okay. ページを開いて、懐中電灯の光を当てた。
Hi. Hasamatte and hasandearu are the same. Hasamaru is the transitive and transitive pair with hasamu. So these are same. There's no difference in meaning between these two ideas. It's just using the same verb over and over is boring, so let's go conjugate it a bit.
Wait, which one was which?
It doesn't matter, they're exactly the same in this context. Hasandearu has no difference in meaning of hasamaru. Well, hasamatteiru has no difference in meaning as hasandearu because hasandearu is passive form.
Okay.
So you could take this sentence and say shiori ga hasandearu peiji. Meaning has not changed. They are exactly the same. There's no difference in meaning.
Right. But of the like hasamu and hasamaru, which one was the
Hasamaru is the
Yeah.
circle verb, and hasamu is the line verb. I do not know what transitive and transitive means because they sound too similar. But a
Okay.
circle verb means that the line verb means a subject exists, and then they do the verb toward the object. Well, a circle verb for me means that the subject does the verb to itself. Is basically what it is. So
Right.
the shiori, the bookmark, is doing hasamu, right? So right here, same thing. The shiori is doing hasaman de aru. There's no difference in meaning between these two.
Okay.
But if I was putting a bookmark inside of a book, I would say, watashi wa shiori o hasamu. Hasamu, yeah. So like that, you know.
Okay, so we have Wait, we have a bookmark?
Sure. What is the subject of the sentence? Do you know?
Annie.
Correct. So Annie, she's going to be doing a verb. What verb does she do?
Um, was it the hiraite?
Hi. Yep. Annie hiraites. What does Annie do?
Uh, it's I want to say it's to enter, but I think that might be slightly different.
You're right. It is slightly different. Hairu is this
Yeah.
kanji. Hiraku
Like
is to open.
open. Yeah, okay.
So Annie opens to what?
The page.
Which page?
Um, the page um in between something where the bookmark is.
Mm, I think the answer is correct, but you were very unsure and said two different things. Yes,
Okay.
she opens up the page to where the bookmark is. Because
Shiori is
the,
the bookmark?
yes, Shiori is a
Okay.
bookmark. Yes. And the bookmark is in between the pages that she opened up to.
Okay.
And what else does Annie do?
Um, was that?
Ateru.
That's not from Aru.
Do you know
Oh, it's turn
ataru?
on.
Hmm. No.
No?
No. If you're talking about turning on a light, that's tsukeru.
Yeah.
Um, ateru. Do you know what ataru means? That's more
Mm,
common, I would say.
no.
Ataru means to be hit or to come into contact with something. So ateru is to hit or come into contact with something. So Annie makes something come into contact with something else. And in this context, she's talking about the page of the book being hikaried. What does hikari mean?
Um, uh, probably lit up if we have the
It
flashlight.
is. Hikari means light. So it says the light of the flashlight is attached. And what it's attached to wouldn't be marked by the particle ni, but it's dropped by the sentence. So we can use context to guess what Annie attached the light to. What do you think Annie attached the light to? We don't have grammar telling us what this is. We only have context.
Um, I mean the page of the book, like shining the
Yes,
light on the page.
exactly. It's a very obvious duh. Of course, she put it to the book of the page. She doesn't have to. Theoretically, this sentence could mean she took the flashlight and shined it at Jack's face. That is theoretically possible, but no one would make that assumption because that'd be a stupid assumption to make. So, so the knee is dropped from the sentence because obviously she's going to light up the book. She's in a dark room. And the next line goes to Afifa.
黒い馬に乗ったり、騎士が後ろに向かっている絵がある。
Hi. Rippa. Rippana means like cool looking.
うん騎士。
Kishi is a knight.
A knight who's riding on a cool looking black horse.
That's a good guess. The black horse is not cool. What is cool?
Rippa?
The kishi is
Ah,
what's
kishi.
cool. So the rule is always this describes the thing below it. So rippana has to be describing the kishi. It
Yeah.
cannot really describe the thing before it. Unless rippa is a noun. So it could be the magnificentness is riding the horse, but it's not a horse that is magnificent. as how it could be described. So since the magnificentness is riding the horse doesn't make any sense, we assume it's the magnificent knight is riding the horse. Um, so what is this magnificent knight riding a horse doing?
Going towards the castle.
You're right, he is. He's looking towards the castle. Perfect. And this is all a relative clause describing egaru.
Is there a drawing of it?
Yes, there's a drawing. So there is a drawing of a magnificent knight on a horse that is black facing a castle. Perfect. And then the rest of this page will go to Grayson.
ジャックは、カットした兄やめろ、本を閉じろ。兄が、本の中の岸を指さした。I forgot what yame.
Yamero!
I think it's like
Um,
hurry up or
opposite. Yameru means to stop. Yamero means stop it. It just makes it into an order.
yeah. Okay. Close the book. Which I think is what he's shouting, close the book.
You're correct. He shouts
Okay.
that. It is in quotation marks.
Yeah. Let's see. No nakano. Okay, that's an interesting kanji.
Yubi? Yubi is finger.
No, not yubi, the key.
Oh, the kishi. It's kind of nice because we have uma right here.
Yeah.
And this is she for shigoto. So this is someone whose job has to do with horses, hence a knight.
Ah. Okay. Annie pointed at the knight on the book.
Hi, within the book. Perfect.
Within the book.
And what does Jacko wa hatto shita mean?
Oh, I forgot about that part.
So.
Hatto shita.
Hatto. Hi.
Hatto shita.
Mm.
I don't know what that part means.
Hi. So we have a particle in here. We have wa and one other particle. Do you know what the other particle is?
Ta?
That's a good guess, but we already got ha. It is the to. Correct. This is quotation to, which is an adverbal marker. So we're describing what Jack surus, right? What does suru mean?
To do.
To do. So Jack does something. He makes the sound ha.
Oh.
So what does this mean, literally? What is the meaning of the sentence? Jack makes the sound ha.
Jack makes that sound.
Yeah. Or in other words, Jack was surprised.
Okay.
He makes a sound. He doesn't necessarily literally make that sound since there's no quotation mark. So quotation mark means they literally make the sound, and lack of quotation mark might mean this is a sound effect, which is an adverb to describe the way in which they do an action. So he jolts or anything like that. Any kind of like surprise motion is what he is doing. So I'm gonna stop the recording.